Alright, today we're back in the shop. This time we're working on the drum for the Frankford Arsenal Rotary Tumbler. Problem with this thing, and there's been a lot of complaints about this, is that it leaks. And the one I got, yep, it leaks too. I was able to help it quite a bit by putting some layer of grease around the mouth here. But what's supposed to happen is this gasket sits on here, and then you have the lid on top of that. Well, the gasket actually forms around the lid. Put the plug on there, and then the lid tightens it down. It's supposed to tighten this part to this part, and this gasket is supposed to seal it. Well, the problem that I found is that this surface right here it's not flat. It's not flat across from one side to the other, and it's also not flat just on the surface itself from the outside to the inside. So what I decided to do, there's probably different ways of doing this, but what I just want to do is make this surface completely flat so that the gasket will sit on there flush and I'll get a good seal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it kind of like squaring an arrow shaft. If any of you done any of that, this is going to be similar. And what I'm doing here is I'm just going to color the entire surface with Sharpie, and that way I can tell how I'm doing and kind of check the progress of what I'm doing. I've already done this side, and I don't know, if you look close you can still see there's a little bit of Sharpie right here, and just a bit over here. I could do this side a little bit more, get it a little bit flatter, but I think, you know, what I've done here is going to help out quite a bit. And what I'm doing is on my bench here, which is nice and flat and smooth, I have a piece of sandpaper taped down. And it's 400 grit sandpaper. You could probably get away with something like 200 to 300. Much lower than that, you probably don't want to go, because we do want this surface to be nice and smooth when we're done. Let me just color the rest of this here. And it doesn't have to be great. We just want to make sure that we get it all. And the idea here is that with this you can see where it's where the low spots are, because as you sand it, the high spots will wear down. It'll wear the Sharpie off of there rather quickly, and the low spots will still have Sharpie on there. What you want to do is keep going until all the Sharpie is off. That way you know you have no more high spots, no more low spots. It's all perfectly flat. So there we go. Got it colored up, and you could probably go, I don't know, any direction with this thing, as long as you keep your force straight down so that you're not tilting this thing one way or another. And what I found actually is that it works best just to go in a circular pattern. Yeah, it makes pretty nasty noise when you first start. That's kind of part of the process. I won't make you sit through that. I will do a bunch of that, and I'll show you what I got. see here that I had high spots here and along here. Those are getting sanded down first. I have low spots here and here. The Sharpie's still there. We know that's a low spot. So I'm going to keep at it a little bit longer. Alright, I've been at it for a couple minutes, and you can see that pretty significant low spot right here. Let's look at a bunch of Sharpie there. The outside edge is starting to get polished down. Still a little bit low on this inside edge right here, but otherwise it's looking pretty flat. You can see I got a bunch of plastic dust from this drum sitting on the sandpaper there. So we're definitely making progress. It's just going to take a little bit. I mean, probably could have started out with maybe 150, 200 grit and got it flattened out, and then maybe went to the 400 and then smoothed it out using that. But we're just going to go straight with 400. It's going to take a little bit longer, but only a couple minutes. Okay, did it for maybe 2 more minutes, and you can see that one low spot was completely taken care of. I still have this one down here. Made it about halfway through from the outside edge in, and I mean even that is probably good enough to get it to seal good now. But I'm gonna go at it a little bit longer and see if I can get that completely smoothed out so that this whole surface is completely flat. Alright, that was probably another 3-4 minutes at it. And I'm just giving, some pretty good downward pressure and going in a circular pattern like this, and switching directions. But found that circular pattern helps it to not bind up like it does like it wants to do if you just go back and forth. But if we look at what we got here, you can see just a hint of the Sharpie right here. That's it. Everything else has been polished smooth, and I'm just going to leave it like that. There's plenty of lip there for the gasket to sit on, and I should be getting a much tighter seal and hopefully no leaking, but we'll see. Next step, we'll have to test it out. Okay, I got my tumbler full here. I got some really dirty brass in there. Looks like that. Comes out of a suppressed AR. And I already put hot water in there, and then my mixture of Dawn and Lemmy Shine. A couple squirts of Dawn. I use half teaspoon of Lemmy Shine. There's various combinations out there. It just really depends on who you ask. But that seems to work for me. And I got her filled up just about to the top. I'm gonna see if this thing still leaks. So put that on there, and then I'm gonna put the this cap on, and you still have to get it on tight. I think they sell like a wrench that fits over this thing that you probably get it really tight with, but I got these man wrenches. I'm just going to use those and get it pretty dang tight. And let's see, tip it over. Shake it around. So far so good, but I'm gonna put it on the rotary drive down here and run it for a little bit, because that's really the only way you can know if the leak is fixed. So we'll go do that. Okay, time to go check on the rotary tumbler here, see how it's doing, see if it's leaking yet. It's been running about 15 minutes. Shut that off. Shut my little heater off too so we can actually hear something. So it's been running about 15 minutes, and my shop floor is pretty dirty, but as you can see, we look over here, look around, there is no leaks. I don't see any water anywhere. You'd be able to see it if it was happening, and it's only been running probably 10-15 minutes, but if it was gonna leak, it would have done it by now. So big improvement over where I started. I'm just gonna turn this thing back on, and we'll see you later.